Shalom, shalom. Karmelo Anthony sentenced 35 years. Who really needs salvation? And I'm making this in response onto why we go out and continue to preach, and why we continue to remind our people that America is not your rest, that Babylon the Great is not going to be the end all be all for you. As you can see, there's still injustice till this very damn day since the Renaissance. And I'm going to speak about having the complexion for the protection and things of that nature, because in Psalms 73:5 it says, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." And it's talking about the so-called white man, woman, and child. But before I continue to proceed, because according to the Bible, they're known as Edomites, and the Lord's going to judge them as also with the world. I'm going to give all the honor, glory, and praises to the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus, because the letter J in the English alphabet did not exist 2,000 years ago. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone, taught me the truth of the Spirit. Single honors to the elect, peace and blessings to the 1/3, and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom. I remember when this first happened, so pretty much going into the case, you should know who Karmelo Anthony and what's his name? Metcalf. His last, I forgot his name. Forgive me, y'all. Um, pardon me for 1 second. So looking at these two pictures, on the left is Karmelo Anthony. On the right is Austin Metcalf. I almost said Anthony Metcalf. That's why I wanted to make sure. And in today's society, they will look at Jake as a criminal, and they'll look at him as the the young, attractive Edomite man. But at the same time, though, Jake, he was a captain of his, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was captain of his track team, and I think also his football team. And I think he was like, he wasn't valedictorian, but he was highly educated, and he was also involved in a lot of school activities. He was more of the all-around, well-rounded student. On the other hand, Austin Metcalf, he was a bully, and he will be shown on screen on the internet holding guns and things of that nature. Jake was the complete opposite of that. He was actually a stand-up kid. So what resulted in Austin Metcalf pretty much dying? Because in the past, him and Metcalf's twin brother have constantly been harassing Jake. Why the hell you think he walking around with a pocket knife? Somebody said, man, if you walk around with a pocket knife, you looking for trouble. So you mean to tell me if somebody's walking around with a gun to protect themselves, they're looking for trouble? Some people just shouldn't talk. Because he already had issues with them before, and they always bullying him before. Him and his brother. For one, the situation when it happened at hand, he was sitting in a spot well off from other people, and they approached him, confronted him, and told him to move. It was at a track meet. I ran track before. I was on a track team. In a track meet, you can walk all over the field. There's no set place saying this is where you belong, that's where you belong. You have sections where the schools are at, but come on, Jay, you know what time it is at a track meet. What you doing? You're walking around looking at the other girls from the other schools. And women, they doing the same thing too. But they approached him, they climbed up bleachers and approached him and told him to move, as if this was some Rosa Parks type shit. He said no. And he forcibly put his hands, Austin Metcalf, on Jake, Karmelo Anthony. And out of self-defense, he poked him twice. And he, ran off. And other witnesses said that Austin and his brother confronted him. That was self-defense. And even when the police arrested him, Karmelo Anthony asked, is he okay? Is he okay? So he even had a sense of concern after he was defending himself. But on a juror of all white people, and they say quote-unquote minorities, but they wasn't Negro, they wasn't Judah, they weren't so-called black, and convicted him of 35 years. And even the judge said, oh, he was a good kid, but we're talking about the Lone Star State, Texas. Pretty much like the lawless state. That's why they call it the Lone Star State. Ain't that the state that said that they didn't need no government electricity? Then when all the electricity fell out, they were looking for the government to help them. They want to be like off the grid. You know what I'm saying? Like their own country. And that's pretty much how they treat this situation, man. And that's why I'm making this video. To remind our people, man, this is not your damn rest. Understand? And we are an absolutely peaceful people. Like, people just act like fucking slavery never happened. Like that shit's just in the past. That's the reason why the world is running the way it is today, because of us going to captivity. No different than when Egypt had us in captivity, all nations flourish. But when the Lord come back for us, that's y'all ass. That's why you see the world crumbling right now before your face. The Lord is getting ready to pay a visit to the earth, man. But let me get back to it. Romans 12 and 18 through 21. If it be possible, as much as life in you, live peaceably with all men. 1 second. Romans 12 and 18 again. If it be possible, as much as life in you, live peaceably with all men. That's all we've been doing ever since, man, we came up out of that hardcore fucking bondage, man. We've been nothing but peaceful to the whole world. We are America. We the culture. We built every fucking thing here. And the whole world want to be a nigga, but they don't want to be a nigga. You don't possess the talents that we have, the genetic makeup that we have, the love that we have genuinely just for people. Y'all lack that, man, and you envy us for that shit, man. But like the scripture says, love working no ill towards his neighbor. Romans 12 and 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves. Because a lot of Jake out there that's upset. Of course, they've seen this injustice far too many times, and it's still happening here today in 2026. In an open carry state, in a you could pretty much stand your ground state. Everybody walk around with guns. Everybody walk around with knives. Huh? Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. And that's all Jake has ever done. So in other words, it's like turn the other cheek. But how many times you gonna turn the other cheek before it's yea for me, but no for thee? Come on, you know if the tables were reversed, if Jake walked up with his twin brother and confronted Austin Metcalf, what do you think they would have said? That was in self-defense. He approached him. What do you expect? Like, come on, man. But people look at us like we crazy. We talking about salvation only for us. No, everybody can be saved. What the fuck you mean? You rule the whole world. This is your kingdom, queendom, whatever you want to call it. So I'm making this video in response to this. Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 1 through 5. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Remember, Karmelo was acting in self-defense, and even after he stabbed him, the officer was arresting him. He said, "Is he okay? Is he okay?" Come on now, that don't sound like somebody who was out to premeditate on attacking someone, right? And Metcalf and his brother were way bigger than him. Like, there's so many specs of this situation that Esau's like, you took one of ours, we're gonna take one of yours. That's how they always do it. They always do it that way. Like I said, who really need fucking salvation then? And the dregs of the people in your nation of your people, if they in the trailer parks, if they're out on, if they on PCP, if they strung out on fentanyl, and they want to sleep with their sisters and all that, that's the society that you ran. That's the society that you created. They're in predicament they're in because you put them there. You hate us so much that you will cut off your nose despite your face. Esau. I ain't talking about everyday six-pole Pat Joe, because what was it, Lyndon B. Johnson? He said, if you can convince the poorest white man he better than the richest black man, he'll give you all his money. And all y'all do is fall for the same snake oilsman trick every 4 years. But I'm gonna leave that alone. Habakkuk 1:3. Why dost thou shew me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling, which is robbing, and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Esau always looking for a reason to fuck with Jake, right? Therefore the law is slacked for us, yes, and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. How you get 35 years for self-defense? Even witnesses said that Metcalf and his brother provoked them. Even Austin Metcalf's brother said that. Like, come on. And this was a closed doors case, meaning it wasn't aired live. Man, come on, man. Y'all need to get the fuck out of here. I'm getting upset. I don't care, man. I'm raw now. We at the end, and this bullshit still happening. And once again, who needs to be saved? Y'all don't need to be saved. Y'all own the whole fucking world. Y'all putting flags on fucking the moon and shit, right? Fuck y'all need to be saved for. Habakkuk chapter 1:5. Behold, ye among the heathen. That's us. We've been spread all over the world through slavery. We among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you. And that work in these last days is really us waking up, y'all. Through slavery, they made us forget who we were. And not even a short span of time, I mean, based upon the timeline of man, we've learned and remembered who we were again. And that was the beginning of the end for Esau. Because remember what it says. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, people. America will be destroyed. Billions of people will perish on the face of the earth. It's just going to be in due time. And I'm going to close out with this, y'all. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11 through 13. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Who has brought Esau to justice? Who have brought Esau to the courts? No one. That's why the Lord's going to do it. That's our salvation. The Lord is our lawgiver. The Lord is our judge. The Lord will save us. Isaiah 33:22 is a beautiful verse. Go look it up. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days are prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. So it's going to be well with us. We're going to be A-OK. All right? Verse 13, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, meaning that you're not going to pass the bounds of, in 2042, we're going to be on Mars. Fuck no, you barely got 5 years here. Right? Verse 13, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. And what did Paul say? I can reveal to you the son of perdition, because he sit in the seat of God. Who holds the highest on earth in the eyes of men? Who holds the highest order of religion on earth? People look at the Pope as that. And who sits in the seat? Who sit in the seat as the Pope today? Voila, Esau. Anyhow, with that being said, I truly pray y'all was edified, fed. Stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness. Pray without ceasing. Stay humble. Remain diligent. Call Master Allah, my flapper ball.